All right. We are live. I'm going to just chill for a minute, let people gather up, make sure everything's working. All right. Can everybody hear me? Hey, Ryguy. Mason, welcome. So we're probably not going to get really started here until about 4:15, but I decided to go ahead and stream a little earlier today because it works a little better for my schedule. I had the time and the opportunity to go ahead and do so. And I don't have anything specific to really talk about in this video. We're just going to kind of talk about where the team stands as of right now. But I'm just going to go ahead and sit, let some people gather up, and then we'll start talking about the team a little bit. To Fly Rye, welcome. Hey, Mason. All right, so we'll see if this start time for a Seahawks stream is good or if I should be doing it after dinner. I don't know. I want to try it out and see how it works, but only time will tell. All right, we got like 8 people in here right now, I think, so we're going to get started pretty soon, and we're just going to build up more people as time goes on. But basically, this stream, we're one day away from the start of organized team activities, and we should probably talk about that a little bit. But mainly, we're just going to talk about how we feel about the team right now. I'm going to take questions and comments, and we'll sort things out. Yeah, after dinner. Yeah, today was not a great day for me to do a stream after dinner. I don't think I have at least one thing going on, possibly two. So I decided to go ahead and knock it out now. I know that's not ideal for everybody, but you do what you can do. All right, we got 10 people in here. Gonna give it like 45 more seconds, and then we're gonna just go ahead and get underway here. I'll start talking about stuff. I'll take comments, questions, and we'll see where things lead us. We'll see how long we go. And yeah, All right, let's give it another 10 seconds here, and then we're going to go ahead and go. Yeah, Mason, sports starting at 10 o'clock in the morning on Sundays is amazing. Couldn't live without it. Okay. All right, everybody, how's it going this afternoon, this Sunday afternoon? Hope everybody's doing well. This is Brendon Nelson. And for the first time in a while, we're going to do a Seahawks stream. I haven't really done one of these since right after the draft because there wasn't exactly anything to discuss. But things have built up to where we actually have some stuff we can talk about. And let me go change the lighting a little bit to make it look a little bit better. Okay. I think that gets rid of the shadows on my face, so that's a little bit better. So, we got some stuff to talk about. Tomorrow is the first OTA for the Seahawks. OTA stands for Organized Team Activities. And basically, these are like mini camps, but for the whole team. Like last week or a couple weeks ago, we had rookie mini camps. It was for rookies, low level players, tryouts, second year players. We had like 31 players at the rookie mini camps. Um, and they were all either rookies or tryout players or very, very low level players who just got here, like, say, Daryl Taylor. And now these OTAs, in theory, are going to feature everybody, or historically they have. Um, in the last couple of years, there has become a movement on the part of the players, the veterans, to not go to OTAs. So what you are going to see over the next few days is a lot of these veterans not showing up to OTAs, and I talked about this a little bit in my video earlier. Basically, the NFLPA is pushing to spare their veterans because the NFLPAs are always fighting on behalf of the players to not have to show up to these events because it's just more wear and tear on your body. It's just another obligation for these players, and a lot of these veterans feel like they have their roster spot secure and their role on the team secured, so they're like, why do we have to go do this stuff? Now, the teams don't particularly like it. The teams want these players to show up and be on company property during company time. So there's going to be a bit of a battle here, and we've already kind of seen the first um, casualties with the Jawan James incident. So if you guys didn't see my video earlier today, the Jawan James thing, it was actually very interesting. Jawan James was at the Denver Broncos team facility last week, and then the NFLPA told him to leave because they did not want their veterans to show up to these events because they want leverage to try to negotiate for veterans not having to show up for these things at all. So they told Jawan James to leave the facility. He did. He went home, and then I think, tore his ACL at home. So the Denver Broncos decided to void his contract, cut him, and just say, well, you get nothing now. You wanted to leave our facility when we wanted you here to go work out on your own time, and then you tear your ACL, you're not getting nothing from us. Had he gotten hurt at the Broncos facility, he would have been due his money. I think he had like 10 million guaranteed. So that is a $10 million oops on the part of the NFLPA on behalf of Jawan James, and he may very well sue the NFLPA for negligence over that situation. And we had something very similar happen to Deshaun Hamilton of the Denver Broncos. So with that memory fresh in the mind of these players, it's going to be interesting to see who shows up tomorrow and who doesn't, because there are a lot of veterans on this team who are not at risk of losing their roster spot. Wilson, Carson, Metcalf, Lockett, Wagner, Adams, Diggs, probably the guys like LJ Collier and Jordan Brooks as well. But that doesn't mean that they won't show up because they might be thinking now, if I'm going to get injured, I may as well make sure I do it in a place where I can still get paid. Now, as fans, this doesn't mean that much to us. I understand that because we the only thing we care about is whether or not these players get hurt. We don't care how they get hurt or where they get hurt. We don't really care if they get paid or not. If they get hurt, it just sucks. But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because one of the things happening behind the scenes on this whole on this whole attempt to boycott OTAs on the behalf of NFL veterans is the NFLPA is trying to make it harder for rookies, UDFAs, and tryout players, and the low level roster players to compete for a starting job. They're basically trying to make it so veterans can hold on to their jobs a little easier. Because if a veteran does not show up to camp, then the rookie can't really compete against them. The low level roster player can't outplay them. Even if they play good, that's valuable, that's certainly worth something, but you can't really say he's outplaying the rookie when outplaying the veteran as a rookie if the veteran is not even there. Um, well, Ethan, because it's an obligation that they don't want to have to. It's an obligation they don't want to have to do. It's they want the privilege of not having to show up to these things. Look, they'll say it's because of COVID. They'll say it's because of inconvenience. They'll say it's because of this or that. But a big part of it that they don't want to talk about, Ethan, and I think this is the real thing going on here, is that let me move the chat. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me move the chat box to here. That's a little better. I think a big part of it is they don't want to have their jobs be at risk by having to compete with the younger players. Because if a veteran shows up to training camp and he's practicing against a younger player, a rookie, a tryout player, and then that rookie or young player or tryout player beats him, is clearly better than him, then that player might get the starting job. That player might take the veteran's job. If the veteran does not show up, then it's a lot harder for that rookie to take his job. Yeah, go Blazers. I decided to move it. I know it was on short notice, but I can't stream very well tonight. I have things going on tonight, and I wanted to go ahead and try to knock this out now. If my schedule clears up tonight after dinner, I may possibly stream again at 7 for the people who missed this, but I had to move things around a little bit. But anyway, yeah. So I think a big part of what you're seeing right now is veterans going, well, if I don't show up to camp, then a rookie is going to have a hard time taking my job because he can't outplay me if I'm not there. So a big part of this is the NFLPA trying to organize a circumstance where my job is secure and I don't have to go through the motions in training camp to preserve it. Well, if I'm the coaches, I don't care about what they think regarding their job being taken. I want the best players on the team. Yeah, but like, okay, let's say Dwayne Eskridge shows up to training camp and is just balling out and he looks way better than Tyler Lockett. And let's say we didn't extend Lockett. Let's say this is in a universe where we never extended Lockett. Okay? Let's say Dwayne Eskridge goes out there and is just destroying Lockett in practice and looks clearly better. That might create a scenario where we feel like, okay, we can cut Lockett because we have Eskridge. But if Lockett doesn't show up, even if Eskridge balls out, we can be like, well, we can't cut Lockett. I mean, just because Eskridge looks really good doesn't mean that Lockett isn't going to look just as good, if not better, when he shows up. But that's what the NFLPA seems to be fighting for, as near as I can tell. So what I'm interested to see is which veterans decide to cross the line in effect and decide, no, I'm going to this thing because the NFLPA is fighting for this. The players may want it too because they're lazy, they want to stay home, they want to spend more of their offseason at home with their families and work out on their own terms. So to me, that's what's going on here. Now, obviously a player like a Russell Wilson will never be in risk of losing his job to somebody like Geno Smith no matter what. That's crazy, but You could see somebody like Kello Witherspoon losing his job to Brian Mills. You could see somebody like I don't know, DJ Reed lose his job to Brian Mills. And these guys are not going to show up in part because they're trying to avoid that situation. What UDFA has the largest chance of starting? It's probably, I guess, Tamori and Terry, but I don't think any of them will. Maybe Pierre Olivier Lestage, but I'm pretty off his wagon at this point. Which rookie sleepers do you have? I mean, Tamori and Terry's probably the only real guy, unless you think Stone Forsythe can beat out Brandon Shell, which I don't. Yeah, I agree with David. Like, these players should be, I mean, these players are making way more money than any of us ever will. If you are in this chat right now, the every player on this team is making more money than you probably ever will. So I want them to show up and take this seriously and not fight for the right to be lazy just because they can. Really hope Russ is there. He needs to build chemistry with Eskridge. Yeah, we won't find out who's going to be there until tomorrow, I don't think. Well, yeah, if Dwayne Brown isn't there, he's probably still not going to do anything because we need to protect his knee. So even if he's there, you're going to see him just chilling out probably because what does Dwayne Brown have to prove? What does Dwayne Brown have to tell us? And all we're going to do is put more wear and tear on his knee. I think Trey Flowers is going to go out to get another contract. Well, he's not going to get on the field that much unless somebody gets hurt. So good luck, I guess. Well, bad luck because I don't want anybody to get hurt. Terry should ball out. He seems a little raw to me. I'm kind of looking at Tamori and Terry and being like, okay, I think he'll be good next year. I don't know about this year though. He might be he might need some time. Everyone on the offensive side of the ball should be there. This offense needs to be learned. Well, the players, the players probably feel like they can learn the offense virtually, and the teams probably disagree with that. So the players, yeah, guys, remember this is not something that Pete Carroll is signing off on. I'm sure Pete Carroll does not like this. Do you think Terry will play a role similar to Swain? Not really, not this year. Um, Remember, this is not something that Pete signed off on. I think Pete is against this. I think Pete wants all his players there, but you're going to see a lot of our players not show up tomorrow at their own risk. Now, for the old school guys, I'm sure there's one or two guys in this chat right now who are old school and know what I'm talking about here. Um, you guys might remember Walter Jones would hold out every single offseason, but his holdout was not really a holdout. His holdout was just an excuse for him to not show up to camp because he wanted to work out on his own. So, and that worked out great for him. Every year he would show up in shape and ready to go. There was no problem with him working out on his own. He never injured himself. He never showed up fat or out of shape. He just used contract disputes as an excuse to not show up to camp, and it worked out fine. So we've done this before with at least one superstar player, but now you're going to see it happen with a lot of players, not just one or two guys. Well, again, Go Blazers, these players think they can learn the offense virtually, and I don't think that's very likely. These players are basically saying everything I do with the facility I can do on my own, but that's probably not true. What really happened is that last year we didn't have OTAs because of COVID, and the players were able to have a season without COVID, without OTAs because of COVID, excuse me. So because it worked last year to a certain extent, these players are going, well, if it worked last year, why can't it work every year? So the NFLPA, because again, the NFLPA's job is to work on behalf of the players. It's like hiring a lawyer when you're guilty, when everyone knows you're guilty. Like it's like a criminal hiring a lawyer, and the lawyer's job is to defend their client to the best of their ability, even if they know he's guilty, even if it's obvious he's guilty. Um, it's your job. So the NFLPA's job is to protect the players. I remember there was a play several years ago. I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago, where Rob Gronkowski intentionally hit a Buffalo Bill defender in the head after the play and gave him a concussion. So the NFL gave Gronkowski a 1 game suspension for that, and then um, the Gronkowski and Belichick both basically said, "Yeah, I messed up. I deserve that. I screwed that up. I deserve this." But the NFLPA still tried to get the suspension taken off because it's their job to stand up for their players in all circumstances. So the NFLPA is trying to make life easier for their players and screw the teams, screw anything else. Just we're working on behalf of the players. That's basically what's going on here. And not only is it an inconvenience for the players to show up, it's also an opportunity for them to show, hey, we're not that good anymore. That young player, he's better than me now. You can give him my job. If they don't show up, then it's a thing where you can go, well, okay, the rookie looked good, but the veteran wasn't even here, so we got to stick with the veteran. We can't just let this veteran who's been good in the past go. So I think that's what's really going on here. That's the most intriguing thing right now. Yeah, Seahawks, Jose Rodriguez, all those guys could end up cut very easily if they don't show up. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see who shows up tomorrow because this the Pete Carroll already said, yeah, we are aware that our players have collectively decided not to show up, but we're going to have the facilities open and anyone who wants to show up can show up. Yeah, yeah, Pigeon. Yeah, Mass, but that was a while ago. Alex Collins has been a journeyman for a couple of years now, so his roster spot is not guaranteed at all. I think he will make the team, but he's got to earn that. He's not going to get it automatically. All right, 4,200 guys. Welcome to the channel, Darren Helmstetler. 4,200. Um, you know, I don't know if Jamal Adams is going to show up tomorrow, but if he, I, I would be very surprised if he would be willing to do anything until he gets extended. Like he's on the last year of his deal. Is he really going to go out there and put himself at risk with 1 year left on his deal? Even I wouldn't do that. Am I going too far in saying I would find players who don't show up? Well, I mean, in a vacuum, I would do that, but you don't want to be the only team that is that is being a stick in the mud. You don't want to be the only team that's doing that. And also, most of the time, those um, holdout fines get wiped away when the player actually shows up. Like I remember Cam Chancellor held out in 2015, and we just basically said, okay, whenever you show up, we're just gonna dump these fines. They don't matter. Just they're just numbers. Same with Earl Thomas. I don't think we ever fined Earl Thomas for not showing up to camp. No mask. I missed the Bradley McDougal thing. Pigeon. That's not true. We still have Penny and we still have Collins. I don't think our running back depth is a problem right now at all. Do you think Shell's job could be in jeopardy if Forsyth dominates? Not. Well, if Forsyth dominates, yeah, but that's not going to happen very often. I mean, I like Forsyth, but the odds of him playing much as a rookie are low. Well, if Bradley McDougald comes back here, he's not going to play, or he's going to be a backup or a special teamer, and I don't think he wants that. He's good enough to start somewhere, or at least get playing time somewhere. Why would he come here? Hey, Danny. Wow. Bradley McDougald picture in a Seattle helmet, deleted 5 minutes later, then posted he was in Seattle. Um, what would he do here? I know we like to play Jamal at linebacker sometimes, but if Bradley McDougald's here, he's not going to play very much. And we have Marquise Blair, by the way, who we drafted as a safety. So I don't know what his role would be. At a certain point, we need to let Blair get on the damn field. I mean, maybe McDougald is a dude who's just going to be unsigned until later in the season when somebody gets hurt and then somebody can pick him up. But I don't know why we would sign him now. Akil Marie, would he be able to switch to corner? I don't think so. That sounds like a really bad idea to me. I don't want anything to do with that. So yeah, that's basically the stuff going on with these OTAs right now. Other than that, I made some videos about this, and we've been discussing this a bit lately. But there were two players that really stood out in the rookie minicamp, and I want to talk about these two players because this is really exciting to me. Because the first player who really balled out was Daryl Taylor, and I'm gonna tell you guys this: if Daryl Taylor shows up to shows up and balls out this season, if he can just have, I don't know, 20 QB pressures this year and 5 sacks, even without Alden Smith, we're probably got a top three pass rush. So that is really exciting to me. It seems like he's really motivated, which is great news. I want to be clear about something. I loved Daryl Taylor when we drafted him. I was very excited about what he could do in this defense. And then there was Dwayne Eskridge, who looks as billed. So I'm really excited for that as well because he has a big role this year. Yeah, Pigeon, Carson and Penny are injury prone, but Carson has played at least 12 games in the last 3 years, so we can count on him for most of the games, I think. I don't think that's unreasonable. Um, Footed Silver, I don't think Forsyth's ready to play anywhere. I don't think Forsyth is ready to play anywhere this season. So if I were you, what I would do is just say Forsyth is redshirting, and that's fine. He was a sixth round pick. I really hope Russ is there. It'll be interesting to see, man. What's your take on Stone? Hawk Asylum, I think that Stone Forsyth is the left tackle of the future, and I think he has a good chance of being a pretty good one. I don't think he's going to take that job this year. I don't think he's going to play this year, or if he does, it's probably going to be bad. But I do think he's going to have a role on this team going forward. Remember, he moves well too. He's not just big, he can move. I see Lockett as a guy who could retire early. Seems like he doesn't love football. I think he could retire early. I don't get the sense that he doesn't love football. Personally, I wouldn't mind Collins being the lead back if Carson or Penny went down. Yeah, I would be down with that. Like, if anything, I want these players who are specifically on offense to be there because I want this new playbook scheme offense, whatever, to be absolutely ingrained in their brain. You would hope. You would hope. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll know more tomorrow. Yeah, Mask. Yeah, Mask. I like Daryl Taylor a lot when we drafted him. I mean, Stone Forsythe is going to be there for sure because he's a low level rookie. He's got to earn his roster spot. He's got to earn playing time. He's got to get up to speed on this stuff. He is not one of the players that the NFLPA is trying to work in the best interest of. Um, the NFLPA is working on behalf of guys like Brandon Shell. Like, what if Brandon Shell shows up to training camp and then loses his job to Stone Forsythe? Then Brandon Shell's out of a job. But what if Brandon Shell doesn't show up and Stone Forsythe looks good? Then we're going to be like, well, Stone Forsythe looks good, but Shell was good last year too. I don't think we can let him go quite yet. We got to let him go. Even if we get Aldon Smith, it doesn't matter because we have way too many pass rushers. No such thing. No such thing. No such thing. Impossible. Impossible. Mason, I don't think Ken Norton matters that much. I think that he's completely at the mercy of his players. And, that whatever. The players are better this year, so the team should be better. I don't think Ken Norton is going to out scheme anybody, but I do think that he has the opportunity to not mess it up with a good defense. What on earth is Trey Brown's role going to be this year? Could he be out of Kello? He could. He could. I don't think he will. I don't think he will. I think the starters are going to be DJ Reed and Akella Witherspoon with Trey Brown waiting for someone to get hurt or waiting for someone to start playing bad. Seattle runs cover three basically 100% of the time. Yeah. Yeah, Cora, exactly. Yeah, that's why you can't have too many pass rushers. By the way, Hawk Asylum, I haven't seen you around in a long time, but I remember you in my videos like last year, man. It's been a while. What's up? The new offensive scheme will most likely be hard for other teams. I really think our new offensive coordinator will make Russell Wilson play far better. I think he will, but it might not happen immediately. Yeah, Alden Smith's in trouble, but we're not going to know what's up until July. It's going to be at least 7 weeks until we know. So, us trying to talk about it right now, like we can speculate, but we're not going to know what's going on for at least 7 weeks. Do I count as a regular to the channel? I think so. You're not a member, but you are here frequently, so yeah. We already know Kello is going to get benched a few times this year, so Trey will get some run. Maybe, maybe. I like Akello. I think Akello's a good player. I think that Carroll is going to have to work hard to get the best possible juice out of him, but he can. Akello is good in man coverage, not zone. Well, Carroll must have had a plan to use him when we signed him. I don't think we signed him not knowing that he's only good in man. Like, are we really going to go out there week one, put Akello in zone, watch him suck, and be like, oh, wait a minute, this guy's only good in man. We didn't know. Thank you, Hawk Asylum. I appreciate it. And by the way, guys, remember, cornerback is not going to be that hard to play for us this year if the pass rush works, which it should. So, pass rush is going to protect our corners. So, I would definitely take that into consideration. Our pass rush will mask a lot of our deficiencies. How many sacks do you think Hyder will get this year? That is so hard to know. I'm going to say like 6. I don't know if we're going to have any one player have double digit sacks just because we have the rotations deep. How much do you think Adams will get extended for? I think he's going to break the record for a safety, so whatever Justin Simmons got plus a little bit more. Russ is not going to show up. Jamal should not show up. I don't expect Jamal to show up because he's on the last year of his deal. I expect him to be holding out for an extension at the very least. And I'm not too worried about Jamal personally. If Daryl Taylor doesn't play this year, then can we like fire some front office people? Like, are we really going to do Malik McDowell 2.0? Yeah, Jamal is capable of doing these things. He just has to do them. Well, yeah, but Ethan, you have to remember, you have to look at it from a player's perspective. A player's goal is not to work in the best interest of the team. The player is working in his own best interest, and the player in his own best interest is trying to protect his job and trying to make his life easier. Well, hopefully we don't play Bearfront that much, Mass Temple, because that means we're in base defense too much. I want to get our nickel corners out there. By the way, last year, I think, well, and even more so this year, one of the strengths of our team is our nickel corners. Yeah, I saw that, go Blazers. But Ugo Amadi played well last year, I think, and Marquise Blair has potential. So I want our nickel corners on the field as much as possible. I consider that to be our strength on defense, or one of them. Well, yeah, Mason, the leverage is we can just franchise tag him. And, Jamal Adams does not want any part of playing on a franchise tag. He will take a measured and reasonable offer to avoid the franchise tag. Now, he's not going to take a lowball offer, but he'll take a sensible offer. What do you think about the idea of signing Morgan Moses? I would be okay with it. My main concern is that he might be a not he might not be a Shane Waldron type of offensive lineman, but that's something that only Shane Waldron can know, so it's up to him. Dunlap could get double digit sacks. I kind of hope that he doesn't, because that will probably mean he's playing too much. Can't franchise tag him? Why not, Mask? I mean, is there a reason why we can't? It was part of the trade deal, really. I've heard some people talking about that, but I have never seen anyone confirm it. So, if that is true, he has us over a barrel, but I have yet to see any confirmation of that being true. But if true, then it's kind of unfortunate. But at the same time, he's going to get top safety money, so um, hopefully he doesn't push it too far. But I don't know if that's true or not. I heard the trade deal included that he had to get extended this offseason. Footed Silver, I think Alden Smith would be a 5 tech in this defense. I think Alden Smith will play 5 tech in this defense because he's kind of big. Um, I will say this though, generally speaking, the NFLPA is terrible. They can't even get fully guaranteed contracts for their players. Even the NBA and the MLB have done that. But the NFLPA cannot cannot get guaranteed contracts for their players. It's crazy. Thoughts on Al Woods? I mean, all Al Woods has to do is squat down in the middle and be big, so he'll be fine. I'm not crazy excited about him, but he's fine. Well, why would that annoy you? Like, either we're going to win to the Colts or lose to the Colts. Okay? And what people say is going to happen has no real impact on what is going to happen. Why do you let this stuff annoy you? I don't understand that. It's like, I get comments on my YouTube videos saying like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're stupid. You're dumb. You're ugly. You're fat. You're blah 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 blah." It's like, unless any of that stuff is true, why would I care? Right? Like, I know that I know what I'm talking about. So, why would I care? Yeah, why does it matter if people think we're going to beat the Colts or not? I don't think that matters. What the only thing that matters is, will we or not? And we cannot possibly know that until the game starts. No, I'm not banning anybody. Why would I ban anybody? These people help you in your Google search. These people help grow your channel because they are giving you views. They are giving you comments that boost you up on the highest trending, okay? That's what these trolls do. I got a guy who trolls basically every video I post with stupid shit calling me ugly and stupid and whatever. But all he's doing is giving my videos comments that boost their numbers. He's giving them views. He might even be giving me money if he's watching the ads. I don't know. But why would I feel the need to ban that? Niners first in NFC West? Not if they start Jimmy all year. Not if they start Jimmy all year. No, go Blazers. I missed that. Um, so anyway, um, well, yeah, Pigeon, I know that, but YouTube automatically deletes those comments, I think. And again, nobody clicks those links. Like anyone who clicks those links you find in YouTube comments like that, if you get a fresh fade, I'll become a member. I am gonna get a haircut soon, but I'm gonna keep it very simple. I'm just I don't even go out anymore. I don't even go outside hardly ever. So why the hell would I get a expensive nice haircut when I can just keep things simple? Well, yeah, Cora, I think Wentz will play better with the Colts, but it's probably not going to happen immediately. So that first game, Wentz might really have a hard time of it because it's his first game in a new team. So it's a good time to play him. It would be a lot worse to play him in week 13 after he's had a chance to learn that offense. I almost never go shopping anymore. I like to watch NFL. They let you do all this stuff from home now. The good news is, and I've said this before, our defense should be good at the very start of the season. Defense should be good from week one, basically, because the pieces have been in place for so long. So many of the resources, so many of the resources have been there for a while. There's just no excuse. Bring in Reuben Foster. Isn't he like the dude from Alabama who's like gotten arrested 8, 9,000 times? I think this is Bobby's last year. I think this is going to be Bobby's last year. I hope it is, honestly. Yeah, Neil's good. Neil's legit. Well, there are always going to be positions that you're iffy on, little Aban. That's what happens in the salary cap era. Would you want to add Ryder into the C depth? Yeah, I would. I would. I think Brooks will play MLB next year. Yeah. I think that's his natural position, honestly. Yeah, Fred Warner's better than Bobby Wagner. He is now. There are actually a handful of middle linebackers who I think are better than Wagner. Wagner's still good, and he played better last year than he did in 2019, but I don't think Wagner's all that anymore, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, Rasheem Green had his chance last year, and then he got hurt, and that chance is now gone. If he had played a full season last year, maybe he could have proven something, but it's going to be very hard for him to prove anything now. Barton as an MLB, maybe. Be right back, guys. Be right back. I got to grab something. All right, we're back. Yeah, Bobby might play for a few more years, but I don't think it's going to be here. I don't think it's going to be here. We can't keep paying him all this money. Well, he's not going to the Cowboys. What are they going to do? Have CD Lamb be their number 4 receiver? Like, unless the Cowboys are trading Michael Gallup, and I think that would be kind of stupid because the Cowboys are probably going to cut Amari Cooper soon, and then they're going to want to have Michael Gallup there. Yeah, don't trade Diggs. Okay, guys, do not trade players right now. This team is trying to win a Super Bowl now. Whether or not it works, this team is trying to win a Super Bowl now. Don't trade players for future assets. That future asset is not going to help us win anything now. I'm interested to see how the culture of the team changes after the Pete Russ era. I do feel like there are some elements of this team that have gotten a little lazy in recent years, so I would like to see somebody come in who would be a little bit more of a disciplinarian. I do I do kind of feel like things have gotten away from us. We're not holding people accountable anymore. You think Diggs also gets an extension? Probably not, but it's possible. I like Diggs a lot, but you got to cut costs somewhere. McCare, you don't know the first thing about this team. I don't know if you're a fan of this team or a fan of another team, but you clearly don't know anything about this team. So, if you actually think that's what the problem is, like, our defense was one of the best defenses in the league in the second half of the season last year after we got Dunlap and Adams got back on the field. And our offensive line is pretty good, honestly. The problems were elsewhere. Yeah, I think it's a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea to put that much money into safety. I think it's a bad idea to spend all those resources on safety. It's like the positions that make a big impact on defense are typically pass rusher and cornerback. And we've decided to invest a lot of money into safety and linebacker. And at a certain point, I think you're probably going too far. Like, Cassio, we're just talking about whatever, man. We're just talking about whatever. Um, yeah, I don't know about Burke Irvin. I like him, but I've never been too optimistic about his chances of being able to start on a defense. But maybe he'll get a chance at some point. We need to blow some teams out so we can get some of these guys in at garbage time so we can kind of get an idea of what they can do. Martavis Bryant, didn't he Josh Gordon himself out of the league? Uh, it would sure be nice to get some blowouts. That way, you can rest your defensive line even more. You can rest your defensive line even more if you're blowing out teams, and then you can spend garbage time playing like Brian Monet and Rasheem Green and stuff, guys who don't play very much. Yeah, I talked about the Julio thing before the draft, but now that we've drafted Eskridge and picked up Tamorian Terry and Kay Johnson, I don't think Julio's on the menu. Well, yeah, M. King, but it wasn't just the safeties. It wasn't just the safeties. We also had elite corners. We had elite linebackers. We had an elite defensive line. It was an elite everything. So the um the idea that you need to make your position of strength safety is probably a mistake, I think. Safety was not our best position on defense in the Legion of Boom era. We were incredible at every level. Well, one thing I did say was that one reason to get Julio would be to keep him out of the division because the Niners or Cardinals might trade for him. That may end up happening, so that's not ideal. But I personally don't think Julio's getting traded anywhere. Nobody's going to take a dude that old for that much money. No, truth be told. I think sometimes they have outcomes that they want. Patriots interested in Julio. Well, they're not going to trade any real assets for him, probably. If they trade for him, it's going to be a lowball deal that the Falcons are just desperately scooping up on. Like, all right. So, yeah, I basically just wanted to do a stream to catch everyone up on Seahawks news because we haven't done a Seahawks stream in a while. Yeah. Do you guys remember like the Patriots traded a fourth round pick for Randy Moss once upon a time, and Randy Moss proceeded to be the best receiver in the league for a year? So yeah, they're not gonna jump on that unless they can get that really good offer. I could see, I hate to say it, but the Niners and Cardinals are both in play for him. Jalen Hurd has missed 2 years. Wow, I didn't know that. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, Ethan, I do too. But the Seahawks have already come out and said that a lot of the veterans will not be there. What are your impressions of the draft picks in minicamp? I like what I see for the most part, although I am I am I am kind of thinking that Trey Brown may not be ready to go at the start of the season. When do you think we'll be hearing news about Alden Smith? Mid July, mid July. All right, guys, I'm gonna stream for another like 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna get out of here. And you can catch me later tonight in a gaming stream, probably. Is it crazy to think Nick Kagimos has a chance? I think he has a chance at the practice squad. I don't know if he has a chance on making the actual 53 man. What's the issue with Brown? There's no issue with Brown other than the fact that Eskridge was pounding him, but I don't know. I just get the sense that it's going to be a process with him, and to expect him to be ready to go week one is probably a mistake. So hopefully Akella Witherspoon's ready. Yeah, go Blazers. That's I think he has a court date in July. I can't remember the exact date, but I've seen it's mid-July. Somebody in chat probably knows it. July 14th. Okay. Yeah, I'm not expecting good news, by the way. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. I'm not expecting good news at this point. Jalen Hurd is a wide receiver. Go Blazers. He was like a third round pick and hasn't played a snap yet. Well, yeah, Mason. Here's the thing. If your team cannot draft well, that is untenable. Okay? There's no universe where your team sucks at drafting but still has consistent success. So this team needs to learn how to draft better, or else once Wilson starts to fade, we're not going to have any good players to replace him with. I'm telling you guys, though, I don't think the Niners are going to be that good this year, but I do not want to see Kyle Shanahan with actually good players. Like, he took Jimmy Garoppolo to the Super Bowl. And as far as I'm concerned, Jimmy Garoppolo is basically Rex Grossman. He basically took Rex Grossman to the Super Bowl and almost won it. If you get Shanahan a real quarterback, that's bad. I don't want nothing to do with that. Clemente, I expect us to sign at least one more veteran. Castillo, I expect us to play nickel most of the time. They're trying to draft players like the Metcalf, but doing it worse. Well, if they wanted to take players like the Metcalf pick, they would have taken Montez Sweat that year and DK Metcalf. So you could have had Montez Sweat and DK Metcalf in one draft. That would have single handedly made it the best draft class since the Wilson class. So the opportunity to get the super freak talent was right there, and you just decided, nah, we're gonna take this tweener. Yeah, definitely Mason. Both those defenses are going to take hits, but they should still be good. They have talent. Well, Montez Sweat only fell because of his heart condition. Tweener, LJ Collier, right, guy? Yeah, we got to see what Bosa does this year too. That's definitely a big thing. And Kerry Hyder was very good for them last year. So losing Kerry Hyder is a big deal if Bosa isn't what he used to be. All right, guys, I'm going to stream for about another 5 minutes, and then I'm going to get out of here. I got stuff to take care of, and you'll see me back on stream on probably Dead by Daylight tonight at some point. I don't know exactly when, but you will be seeing me. M King, I spent a ton of time a few weeks ago talking about cap casualty candidates. If you want a look at potential cap casualty candidates, go watch those videos. I spent a ton of time digging into every single one. Yeah, Ryguy, if I'm playing Dead by Daylight, it's always going to be with snacks or Green Earth. Always. I'm never going to play that game on my own because that game is not fun on your own. Yeah, M King, just go back a couple weeks on my channel. I made a lot of videos about cap casualty candidates. Um, all right, so I'm going to end the stream in about 5 minutes here. Thank you for showing up, everybody. We are 4 members short of getting to 50, which means we unlock another emoji, which is going to be cool. So if you have not yet become a member and have been thinking about it, Not a bad time to start thinking about it. We are up to 4,200 subscribers now, which is an awesome milestone. Hopefully, we can get to about maybe 4,300 by the end of the month, although I kind of doubt it at this point. Hey, Go Hawks 2021. Sorry you missed most of the stream, buddy, but yeah, I ended up having to move it around just a little bit because I got some stuff going on potentially tonight. I'll become a member right now if you pronounce my name correctly. Oh God, Matuz Jakubowski. I did the best I could. Anyway, yeah, tweener is LJ Collier. He's too big to play 5 tech, and he was too small to play 3 tech, but I think he bulked up a bit, so now he can play 3 tech. Hey, M King. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Lifetime Hawk fan. Mm-hmm. Me too. I mean, pretty much, right? Pretty much. Ugh. All right, so I'm feeling very good about where this team is right now. I think this I do want to bring in another center, not just because of Posick, but also because of Kyle Fuller. But other than that, I'm very happy about where this team is right now. And if we lose Alden Smith, by the way, which we probably will, look for us to maybe go get somebody like a Everson Griffin to replace him because we clearly feel like that's some kind of a need. So definitely keep an eye out for that because there are some capable 5 techs out there. Like I like Everson Griffin. I think that dude has talent. I think that dude has a little bit left in the tank. And if we cannot get Alden Smith this year, I think Everson Griffin could be the dude. Hey, Seahawks fan. Kyle Fuller belongs on the practice squad, period. I wanted Everson last year. Me too. We kept passing him up, but I don't know. Yeah, M King. I've talked a little bit about Lestage. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen this year. What happened to Gerald McCoy after the ACL tear? I think he's still out there, but he's probably toast. Gerald McCoy is probably toast. Do you buy the notion that Posick struggled last year mainly because of Upati? Well, Upati did not play badly last year. He just got hurt too much, and then we put Jordan Simmons out there, and Simmons, yeah, that dude sucks. So, kind of. All right, we got a new channel member, Cool Breeze. Welcome to the membership club, buddy. There are a few perks right now. I'm going to expand the perks sometime this year, but for now we only have a handful of perks. But welcome to the Cool Kids Club, Cool Breeze. Yeah, I don't go to field goals that much anymore, but they do some good stuff. Yeah. I think you could make an argument that Posick was not helped by having to play next to Jordan Simmons for half the season. And like at a certain point, it got very annoying having Upati out there because you just knew he was going to make it like 20 snaps and then go back into the 10. It was ridiculous. At a certain point, I was just like, can we just get rid of this guy? I know Simmons is bad, but at least he'll probably stay on the field the whole game. Yeah, the concussion definitely set Posick back. I feel like some people are too hard on Posick, but I get it. I get it. Like I would want somebody better than Posick too. I wanted somebody better than Posick this offseason, but I can also understand and somewhat defend keeping him around. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it. Just a quick little hour long plus stream to talk about Seahawks stuff before OTAs. I'll definitely talk about OTA stuff in the coming days, but keep an eye out for another Seahawks stream at some point. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. So peace out. Go Hawks. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for supporting the stream and the channel, everybody. So, best of luck to everybody. If you guys want to watch me play Dead by Daylight or Resident Evil 6 later tonight, stay tuned. Should be coming up. And yeah, peace out. Go